Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Leslie and it is time for another budget with me for June. And sorry if I look a little disheveled. It is a small miracle that I was able to make this video at all, so I'm just working with what I can. So for June, oh my gosh, June was a wild ride. If you missed any of my last videos, I recently got married, so I had my wedding expenses, I had a bunch of other things. I decided to take up a new hobby, and that is always a bad idea, so for my bank account anyway. So I definitely have a lot to talk about today and a very crazy month to go over. So with that being said, let's jump into June. So for June, I did get a small work bonus for getting married, but I will put an image up here to show you exactly where that money went, and it did not go in my pocket, unfortunately. It just went to fund the government, so that's always nice. But even with that, June actually ended up working out somehow. Like, my mind is blown. So let's go over some of the expenses that I had for June. So groceries, I actually ended up under budget, which is amazing because I set my budget fairly low for that month anyway. So I set it at $625. It ended up being $426. That is awesome because I previously did go over on groceries. So I think that's kind of what evened everything out, because I did have some extra stock of things like protein powder, my usual oatmeal, some meat in the freezer. I just had a bunch of random things where I didn't have to buy as much, so that was really nice. Paper goods and cleaning, I actually spent $0, so that is awesome. I am so excited about that. Gas, unfortunately with gas, I did have to fill up twice this month, so I kind of rotate between months. Sometimes I can fill up once during the month, and sometimes I do have to get gas twice. We took a couple of long drives, so I'm sure that had something to do with it. Not a big deal. So that was $87. Preschool. So with preschool, I had missed a payment just because the teacher didn't have the card reader at the end of May. So I knew June I was going to spend a little bit more on preschool, but ironically, the last week of June, she also didn't have the card reader. So I'm going to be paying in July for one of the weeks in June. So I actually didn't need the extra money I budgeted for preschool because it ended up being the totally normal amount anyway. But for July, I might end up going a little bit over, unless the last week of July moves into August, which is possible. But that was great. So personal care and toiletries, I did go way over by almost $100 because I needed to buy some shampoo and dry shampoo and I think one other thing. With the shampoo, sorry, there's a gnat in here. With my shampoo, I buy these huge like liter bottles of shampoo, and then I only have to buy them like maybe twice a year. I don't buy it that often, maybe 3 times. But yeah, I don't buy shampoo that often at all. I do buy a lot of dry shampoo, which kind of sucks, but that's where that was. Over-the-counter meds and vitamins, I did go a little over just because sometimes it just lines up to where I need everything all at once during the month, and that's what happened here. I do put my daughter's stuff in there. She takes a multivitamin and Claritin. So instead of putting that under daughter's needs, I actually just put it under the over-the-counter meds and vitamins. So I don't know. I thought about separating that out, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So daughter's wants, I actually did spend a little bit on her this month. I usually don't buy her that much because she doesn't need that much. She just likes going to the park most of the time anyway. But I did buy her a couple of things. It was only $10. Daughter's needs, I did go over because she just ended up needing a lot of stuff. She did have her preschool graduation, so she needed a dress and shoes. She needed, what else? There were a few other things. Yeah, she just needed a few things, so I went over a little, not a big deal. I mean, if she needs it, she needs it, so I'm gonna buy it. Medical expenses, I didn't have any, just the normal insurance. Gifts, so I did go way over in gifts. So I had talked last month about buying my husband something for Father's Day, and I was gonna just get something small, but he's recently been talking about some gym equipment that he really wanted, and he didn't want to buy it himself. So was like, you know what, why not? We'll go ahead and splurge and I'll buy you some gym equipment. So I spent like 115. Yeah, about 115. So I mean, that was fine. I had the money to spend and I was happy to be able to get him something because we do still have separate finances right now. So we kind of rotate back and forth who pays for things, but it's kind of nice with stuff like this because I can actually like buy him a gift with my money. And I don't know, it just feels more like a gift instead of me taking our money to buy him something. I don't know. We might end up combining finances at some point, but for now, this is how we do it. Clothes, I actually spent zero. I actually spent negative on clothes because last month I went way over because I was buying a bunch of dresses to potentially wear to the wedding. And then this month I got all the returns back on those. So I actually got like over $300, like $350 in returns from the dresses. So I definitely spent nothing on clothes this month. Hobbies. Okay, so hobbies, as you know, is always a rough one for me. I've been really good about not spending on hobbies, but I did decide to take up a new hobby, and that is gardening. So I love plants. I have a lot of indoor plants that I take care of, but now I have a yard and I really wanted to do some container gardening because I am in an apartment. So I didn't want to be like digging up the yard in the apartment. So I got some grow bags. A lot of that money honestly was soil. Soil is so expensive. So I had to buy a bunch of soil. I had to buy the seeds. And just a few odds and some mulch, just some things here and there. I got a really good setup. And the cool thing is that a lot of this stuff can be used at least next year, if not for years to come. So I did get a pretty good amount that I'll be able to use again because the seed packets, I mean, they come with a ton of seeds. So I have lots of seeds left over. I can reuse a lot of the soil, the grow bags. So I'm really excited that I got this really good setup, but it sucks that I had to spend so much to get it started. And then I actually did need a few things for my normal indoor plants. Like I needed some more soil and I think that's it, actually. So I did just buy a lot of soil. Yeah, I actually can't believe that I spent that much. I thought I spent more like $250. So yeah, I'll probably have to cool it a little bit with the hobby spending, but that's fine because I have that to play with now, so I'm good for now. And I'll definitely be planting more each month until it gets to where I can't plant anymore. I actually didn't know if I wanted to put that under hobbies or home goods because it could almost fall into like a home good category because it is something for the family. Having a vegetable garden and it's stuff that I can reuse, but I just went ahead and threw it under hobbies. As much as I didn't want to have hobby spending, it was going to go somewhere. Pets, I only spent $12 on pets. I had to get her some litter. Entertainment, I didn't put anything on entertainment. It's just the hobbies. Home goods and decor, I did go over because I ended up buying a compost tumbler. I almost put that under hobbies just to be with all the gardening stuff, but I thought it fit better under the home goods category. So I absolutely love my compost tumbler. If you're thinking about composting, it is so easy with that tumbler. So I'm so glad I got it. My daughter loves going out there to do the compost and all the gardening stuff in general. Like I thought it would be a really good experience for her. So overall, I'm just so happy with my setup. The rest of the money that wasn't the tumbler, I got this picture frame to do like a collage of our wedding photos, and then I had to order the wedding photos. But I sort of had a big fail because I ordered the wedding photos in 5x7 and it turned out the picture frame was 4x6. And I spent a lot of money to get the 5x7 size. Like I can't believe I pretty much wasted money, but I mean, there are wedding photos, so I mean, I guess that makes it okay. Honestly, I'm kicking myself for spending it. I only lost like maybe $30 on having to do the pictures twice, but still. I was either going to redo the photos in the right size or buy a whole new like photo collage frame. So doing the pictures over was cheaper by a lot. Childcare, I budgeted $200 and I spent $200. So I knew exactly what was happening there. That was when we went on our honeymoon for a couple nights and then my husband's sister watched our daughter. Business expenses was 20 cents because I had an Etsy listing that renewed after I got my Etsy payout, so I had to spend 20 cents. I think I can handle 20 cents, so not a big deal. Salon was $0. Dining out, okay, so dining out was kind of weird because I had $200 that someone gave me for a wedding gift, and we were planning on using that to dine out, but I put it in my budget without putting the cash gift in my budget. So that's why the budget numbers are kind of weird. So the $22.22 there is what I had put on my card, and then the rest we had paid in cash. So altogether, we ended up with cash left over, so we were definitely way under budget on dining out anyway. I think we were like $50 under budget or something. So dining out was great. That was really reasonable. Actually, one of my coworkers were making fun of me because for the hotel, we actually meal prepped protein oatmeal because we didn't want to have to go buy breakfast somewhere, because we just wanted to like eat to like get rid of our hunger. Like we weren't trying to get anything fancy for breakfast because we were going to go out for dinner anyway. So we took our meal prep oatmeal to the hotel. Car maintenance was $0. Oh, so actually with car maintenance, I did have to get my brakes done. I finally got that done, and my husband actually paid for it with some money that he had gotten. So I technically had a car expense, but he ended up paying for it, so that was awesome. Vacation. So this was basically just the cost of the hotel. Oh, there is actually one dinner that we ate at the hotel restaurant that's under the hotel cost. So I forgot to split those up, but it's not a big deal. We ended up spending $660.78. I budgeted $550. So if I didn't have that like $75 meal expense on there, we would have been a lot closer to budget. So I think everything kind of evened out with that. So I'm definitely happy with the way we did everything. It was awesome. We had so much fun. Electronics, only $760, so under budget there. Insurance and registration, you know what? I just realized I put some stuff under miscellaneous that I should have put there. Gym and house cleaner was $47.98. I went under because due to all the wedding stuff and our schedule being weird, I kept having to push back the cleaner. So we actually didn't have a cleaner that month. She came the first week of July. Work, $7. I had to buy some magnets for work. Not a big deal. Okay, so miscellaneous, $54.90. So $30 of that was a parking ticket I unfortunately got. So where we live, there is street parking and there's a street cleaner, so you do have to move your car. There was one day, I forgot what day it was, and I thought it was a Wednesday and it was a Tuesday, and I ended up with a parking ticket. So that really sucks, but it is what it is. I was parked in the wrong spot. I can't really argue that, so... and then the other like $24 was our marriage license. So we had it sent to us. So we had to pay for the license plus shipping, $24. So laundry was $0. We're good on laundry money. We had enough left over to get us through June. Laundry is pretty cheap anyway. I think it's like for our whole family, like 10 to 15 a week, depending on how much we're washing. Probably more like 10, honestly, because it's definitely not 15 every week. I think we get by with like $40 a month on laundry. So that kind of sucks, but I mean, we don't have washer and dryer hookups, so what are you gonna do? So I usually forget to look at like the total and like the budgeted versus the total and the difference for each month. So I had actually budgeted for about $4,400, and I ended up spending $3,900. So I actually came out under budget by $488. So that's so crazy because I spent so much in June. Maybe I just over budgeted enough. But yeah, I thought that was so interesting. And then also, I got about $85 in rewards points back on my credit card. So that kind of helped. That basically bought the compost tumbler on its own. And then, like I said, I got $327 back in returns. So I managed to kind of even everything out. I also didn't talk about what I had saved. So I ended up saving almost $500 in my savings account and almost $900 in retirement. I put $839 in retirement this month. So somehow, even with the extra spending, and I don't know, everything just really worked out. So I'm so excited about that. But anyway, on to budgeting for July. It is actually July 6th right now. I am so late on getting this video together. It is Sunday and I'm planning on putting it out tomorrow, so it is so last minute. That's why I am so glad I was able to find some time to do it. Okay, so groceries. I'm gonna leave that at $625. I might actually spend less. Grocery, I think that is going to be less. So I'm actually going to make that $550 and we'll see what happens there. Paper goods, I'll just leave it $30 because I think we do need like some toilet paper and I usually buy in bulk. Gas, I might actually end up with 2 gas payments again. I'm going to go ahead and make that $85 just in case I have 2 again. Because like I said, we have been driving some long distances recently. Preschool, I'm gonna make that $1,500 because I might have 1 extra payment, but that would be it. So, you know, actually we're gonna do $1,600 there. Personal care, I'll just leave it $20. Meds and vitamins, we might need a little bit. I'm gonna drop that to $30. Daughter's wants, I'm actually going to increase daughter's wants because there's something happening in the second half of the month where I might need to buy her some stuff for entertainment. I'm going to make that 50 seems light. I'm gonna make that 40. Daughter's needs, I'll keep it 25 because she might actually need a couple shirts. Medical, I'll keep the same. Gifts, gifts. I don't think there's any gifts I need to buy in July, so we'll leave that. Clothes, I shouldn't really need anything, but I'm gonna keep that at 25 anyway. Hobbies, so I did already spend a little bit in July on some more soil, so I'm actually going to make hobbies 100, which is a lot, but I want to finish getting my setup taken care of and I actually might need a few other things. Actually, I think all I need is some more soil, so I'm just gonna leave that at 100. Pets, I think I'm good. She might need litter, so I'm just gonna leave that at 15. Entertainment, I'm gonna put 0. Home goods and decor, I'll just keep that at 30 because I think I'm good on, you know what? Man, I don't even know. Let's just put 25. Childcare, we might need a little bit of childcare. I'm just gonna put 50 for now. Business expenses, I don't think I need anything, but I have been getting back into drawing some embroidery patterns for Etsy, but I don't think I'll need any brushes or anything like that, so I'm just gonna leave that at 0. Salon is 0. Dining out, I will put 15. Car maintenance, I'm actually gonna put it 0 for now. Vacation is 0. Electronics, I usually leave at 15 in case I need something random, because it seems like every month I buy some random thing that falls under. Oh my gosh, no, I need to make it way more. So I have a secret. I will talk about it in the next month video because I don't want to spill it yet. So I'm actually going to make electronics a lot more. I'm going to make it 330. We're going to try that, but I will explain more next month. Gym and house cleaner. I did have a house cleaner already. I'm going to have a gym payment, so I'll just leave that. Work, I don't need anything at work. Miscellaneous, I'll keep it 20. Laundry, I have enough cash for laundry, so I'll just leave that at 0. And that is it. So yeah, that was my chaotic, weird June. That has been such a weird month for this year. So I really hope July is like toned down a little more and more normal, which I'm sure it would be because I'm not getting married again in July. So, and that was a lot of the expense, and then the hobbies. So let me know how you're doing with your year. I was actually doing a low buy year and I've been good so far for the most part up until now. I haven't spent too much extra. So that's actually why I'm still doing pretty good. So I'm actually not doing too bad considering I've been spending so low throughout the year so far, but I really do want to get back on track and try to restrict some of what I'm spending. So yeah, I guess that's my focus for now. Let me know how you're doing with your low buy or no buy, or if you're just trying to get on track with your money. I would love to hear from you. So drop me a comment, like all the YouTube things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.